I'm gonna talk you through these 3 tweaks that made the biggest difference in my skin. I have extremely dry skin and I've always suffered with redness, flakiness. I would get really dry, painful flakiness on my eyelids, and making these 3 tweaks to my morning routine really made a big difference. My name is Amy. I've been working in the beauty industry for the last 10 years, and I'm here to show you that skincare and makeup doesn't have to be complicated. I'm gonna be sharing a lot of things that I've learned along the way through working with product formulators to develop skincare and beauty products, and then also just that I've learned from my own trial and error in my 20s and early 30s. So if that sounds interesting to you, then keep watching and please subscribe. In general, I've definitely had a long skincare journey, and dry skin has always been a problem for me. And at one point in my 20s, I got really into using a bunch of different skincare products. I was trying to layer on serums to make my skin glow and trying to do a bunch of different things. And what I really found is that sticking to simple skincare is the best thing for me. It's really the way to reduce the chances of irritation. And for me, with a simple routine, my skin has become the healthiest it's ever been. So this morning skincare routine only includes 3 products, and on some days I just use 2 of them. So in addition to stripping back the number of products I use, I really found that these 3 tweaks made a huge difference. And these tweaks are ways of applying products. I'm gonna talk you through the 3 tweaks that made a big difference while I do my morning skincare routine with you. So the first tweak is to skip your cleanser in the morning. Now, cleansing is one of the most damaging things you can do to your skin because you are kind of impairing your skin barrier. That being said, it's very important. At the end of the day, you need to cleanse your skin to wash off the dirt, the makeup, the sunscreen, any kind of pollution, anything that's gotten on your skin throughout the day. So cleansing is very important, but at the same time, it can impair your moisture barrier because you are using surfactants to wash away any impurities. So if you are like me and you have dry skin, or even if you have normal skin, I would recommend skipping your cleanser in the morning. You don't need to wash off your skincare from the night before. It's okay to just wake up and start applying your skincare. If you have extremely oily skin and you wake up and you feel greasy and you don't like the feeling, then you could cleanse. It's not a no-no to cleanse in the morning, but for me, and especially if you have dry skin, I really recommend skipping that morning cleanse so that you avoid overly drying out your skin. So because I don't cleanse in the morning, I do still splash my face with water because I prefer to apply my products to damp skin. The reason you want to apply moisturizing and hydrating products to damp skin is because they are filled with humectants, which bind to water. So when you have water on your skin, you're going to bind to that water and draw it into your skin and help plump up your skin. If you go on with a moisturizer or a serum to dry skin, it's just not going to give you the ultimate benefits of that product. Adding in the water really just helps to boost up the hydration. So I'll just go in and splash my face gently with water. Since I'm not in my bathroom right now, I'm just gonna use a spray bottle that I usually use for my hair when I'm doing my hair slicked. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you do want little droplets of water. Okay, so step 1 is not cleansing or skipping your cleanser and instead just splashing your face with water to get it a little bit damp. Step number 2 is going to be our moisturization step. Now, this can be just a moisturizer, and on many days, especially when I'm in a rush, I will just, with this damp skin, go in with my moisturizer, and that is kind of the main part of my routine before we get to the last step. But if you want to be a little extra, if you're looking to target something specifically, this is the step where you want to add in a treatment. As I mentioned before, I had a very complex routine and I was going in with a bunch of different products, and there are several issues with using too many products. If you start using a bunch of different serums, you can have an issue where they start interacting negatively with each other. Certain ingredients cancel out other ingredients or make them inactive. So the more products you're mixing together, the more risk you have of causing complications. You can also cause product pilling, which is where the product starts to kind of ball up on your skin, which just doesn't look or feel good. And often you kind of ball away the product, so you're not really getting that into your skin. And then lastly, the more products that you use, the more chance of irritation. So the more things you're putting on, the more you might cause a breakout or some redness or some flakiness. So I really like to keep this simple. As I mentioned, many times I will just go straight in with my moisturizer and call it a day for that step. But if you want to be extra and put in a serum or an essence or a toner to target something specific, this would be the time to do it. I'm gonna go in with the Dermatology Needleless Serum. This is a really nice, soothing, hydrating serum. It has copper peptides in it, which there's some great research showing that it can help boost collagen. I also really love this serum because it has niacinamide, which is a great ingredient for not only hydrating your skin, but for improving brightness, and it can also help control oil production. So niacinamide is a great ingredient. And then this also has a lot of great hydrating ingredients, soothing ingredients, moisturizing ingredients. So it's really just, to me, kind of boosting up my moisturizer, making my skin that much more healthy, hydrated, and the copper peptides in there hopefully are helping to build some collagen over time. This is from Dermatology. It's a little bit pricey. They did send it to me, but I do think I'm gonna repurchase it because I'm really enjoying using it. With my skin while it's still damp, I'm going to take a couple drops, probably like half a syringe full, and I'm just gonna rub this in to the damp skin. And as I mentioned, this is really just gonna help hydrate, plump, moisturize. It feels really soothing. So that's kind of step 2A. Today I went in with that needleless serum. That's really to target anti-aging. It's also to target hydration, evening your skin tone. It's great for all of those things. But some other things that you might want to consider using if you're looking for a treatment in the morning, you could use a vitamin C serum, which paired with your sunscreen can help boost your SPF protection. There have also been studies to show that vitamin C can help boost collagen production. Or if you're more concerned with brightening your skin, in addition to like a niacinamide product, you can go in with something that has azelaic acid or licorice root. Those would be great options for targeting acne and targeting dark spots. Another great option if you're looking to combat blackheads or acne or oily skin, you could go in with like a BHA. There are a couple more toner-like products that have salicylic acid, which is BHA, which is great for controlling acne. It's great for controlling oil production, and it can really help with blackheads, greasiness. Another type of serum you could go in for this treatment step would be a hydrating serum, just to plump up the skin. You could do anything with hyaluronic acid. There's also great calming and soothing serums. There's a great one from Aveeno, their repair serum that has oat. It's very calming and soothing and hydrating. So a lot of great options if you want to add something in to boost your results or to target something specific. After your serum step, it's really important to go in with a moisturizer. So anytime you're applying something that is like a serum texture or a toner that's more light and liquidy, that's really kind of hydrating and plumping up the skin, you want to make sure to seal it in with a thicker moisturizer. Now this is because the moisturizer has some more occlusive ingredients that are going to help prevent transepidermal water loss. So especially if you have dry skin, but even if you have normal skin or oily skin, it's really important to go in with a moisturizer because that will help seal in that hydration. Otherwise, it could just evaporate off your skin and you might be left feeling more dry than before. My all-time favorite moisturizer is this CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. This is just such an amazing moisturizer. It has a really nice thick texture. It's super hydrating, but at the same time, I love it because it doesn't feel greasy. I haven't found any other moisturizers that give me quite this moisturized effect where I just feel like my dry skin really drinks it up, but I don't end up feeling greasy. If you're not used to a cream product, then it might feel heavy to you, but for me, it's just interesting because while it moisturizes, it absorbs so quickly into your skin that you honestly don't feel greasy at all after, even though it is so moisturizing. One of my other favorite moisturizers, the CeraVe PM Lotion. I've been using that since I was in high school based on a dermatologist recommendation. And I do love that moisturizer because it feels so lightweight. I really found that when I switched to something much thicker like the CeraVe cream, it just works much better on my dry skin. So if you have dry skin, or even if your skin isn't dry, you might want to try using something that's a little bit thicker like the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream because it does such a good job of keeping the skin plump and hydrated throughout the day. I've just finished applying this and you can see the skin really doesn't look greasy at all. It's not shiny, it's not super dewy, but it really is thickly moisturized. Now, the last and most important step is sunscreen. This is something that I didn't used to really understand the hype about, but really the more research that I've done, sunscreen is the #1 anti-aging product you can use. Don't waste your money on expensive serums if you're not using SPF. That's because SPF not only prevents future damage, but it also helps repair existing damage. And really any of the aging issues that people complain about, that they don't like as their skin gets older, they're really all caused by the sun. Wrinkles, the dark spots, uneven skin tone, uneven texture, that all comes from skin damage over time. So really the best thing you can do for your skin is to protect it with an SPF. When you get something like a sunburn, not only is that causing damage that can lead to wrinkles and dark spots, but also you can even exacerbate dryness and exacerbate breakouts. If you're looking for an extremely simple routine, you could literally just go in with your SPF as your only step in the morning, because this is really just the most important product in the morning and the only thing that you actually need. If you wanted to skip everything else and just go into the moisturizing SPF, that would be totally fine. With SPF, you don't really want to go in with damp skin because it can interfere with the way that the SPF filters set themselves up. So I always wait for my moisturizer to absorb a bit and then I'll go in with my SPF. Now the tweak here that made the biggest difference for me was just applying the proper amount of SPF. This is important, and I started doing this because I wanted to make sure that I was covering my entire face, getting all of the necessary areas to make sure that I was protecting myself. The immediate benefit that I saw was that my skin just looked so much more hydrated, healthy, and glowy when I was really wearing enough. I've had friends who were struggling with their skin feeling like it looked dull and dry throughout the day, and when I was doing makeup and skincare with them, I noticed they're only using about 2 pumps of this to cover their whole face. And what I found was that they looked more dry because they weren't getting the proper moisturization that you can get from applying the right amount of this. So my tweak is to actually apply the proper amount of SPF. Not only will you be protecting yourself against damaging rays, so that you're gonna protect yourself against premature skin aging in the future, but you'll get the immediate effect of your skin just looking more healthy and hydrated. The proper amount of SPF is about 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon for your face and neck. A lot of people will measure that out by using 3 finger lengths of product, and that's a good hack if you want to do it that way. I have measured this out in the past, and I know that 6 pumps of my favorite Dermatology tinted SPF 46 is enough for me to get adequate coverage on my face and my neck. If my chest is going to be showing, then I'll add more for that. I'm gonna go in with 6 pumps of this. And that might seem aggressive and like a lot. And when you're first applying it, if you're not used to it, you might be like, this is gonna look crazy. But honestly, this I think is what makes my skin look so healthy and glowy, by applying the right amount. So some other tips for while you're applying your SPF is just to take your time and go section by section to make sure that you're not missing any areas. This is really the best way to make sure you're getting adequate coverage on all of the important areas of your face. So I'll go just bit by bit, cheeks, forehead. You always want to make sure to remember around the eyelids. Take some more down my neck, the backs of my ears. I take any excess on the backs of my hands, another culprit for premature aging. Now with certain SPF formulas, this might look cakey. There are obviously certain sunscreens that have a bad white cast or not a nice texture. That's why I love this Dermatology Universal Tinted Moisturizer SPF 46. I've been obsessed with this for a few years now. I just love the way it feels. It has a lot of great nourishing ingredients. It has niacinamide, which I always talk about, which is great for controlling oil, for brightening the skin, for nourishing the skin, preventing wrinkles. And it just has a lot of great hydrating and moisturizing skincare ingredients. So in addition to getting sun protection, you don't get like a gross sunscreen look. This does have a tint, but I find it really doesn't give like a makeup look. It just makes the skin look a little bit glowy. This also does have zinc oxide, which is a mineral filter, which can cause a white cast. So I think that's why the tint really helps kind of counteract that. I will say it's just one universal tint. It's probably not gonna work for everyone, but because it does really dissipate, it still could work. This is a mineral and a chemical combination formula and has such a nice light texture, and I just am obsessed with the way it makes my skin look. So I literally look forward to using this. I will even apply this under my makeup when I'm going out at night, just because I love how much it makes my skin look. Even if I don't need the sun protection, I love this as a base. Another positive of having a tinted SPF is that tinted SPFs or sunscreens have iron oxides in them. And there has been a lot of research to show that iron oxides, which are what gives the product the tint, can actually help protect against blue light, which we get from our screens. So by adding in a tinted SPF, you're actually getting a little boost of extra protection from the blue light, which specifically can cause and worsen hyperpigmentation. If you have dark spots or uneven skin tone, definitely try a tinted SPF because you're getting a little bit of extra protection to protect against hyperpigmentation and uneven skin tone. So I know it might feel weird at first. You might think I'm going way overboard with those 6 pumps, but I genuinely think this is what gives the skin that glowy look. And also you're protecting yourself from wrinkles and dark spots and all of the stuff that anyone who wants to anti-age is trying to avoid. Your skin is going to look so nice and healthy and glowy. You honestly don't even need a highlighter product because this just gives the skin such a nice natural glow. To recap, the 3 tweaks, first is skipping your morning cleanser. The second is to apply your products to damp skin, so your serums, toners, any sort of hydrating product, or your moisturizer, whatever is your first step. And then the third tweak is applying more sunscreen than you think you need, especially if you have a nice elegant formula like this Dermatology, my fave. I obviously love these products. These have been part of my routine for a long time now. The point here is that it's not even so much about the specific products. If you have your own moisturizer that you love, you have your own serums you'd like to use, and your own SPF, it's not so much about the specific products or brands. It's really about the application tweaks that had made the biggest difference for me. My skin has been so much less dry, so much less dehydrated. I don't get the red flakiness. Even when the weather changes and it starts to get colder outside, when I would usually have such issues with my dry skin, I really don't suffer from that anymore because these tweaks have helped so much, help me control the hydration and the moisturization of my skin. And I honestly haven't ever felt that it's looked better. So I hope these tweaks will help you. Definitely let me know if you try them or if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and I will see you next week.